Welcome to Flex Your Feelings, the mental health and wellness podcast with me, Sam Bell, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, James Penny.
Hello.
Hello.
I am lovely.
I'm
feeling quite lovely
today.
today.
I mean, this is the second week in a row, isn't it? Or third? No, we had a week in between.
Yeah.
So we're getting a little bit more regular.
I'm feeling lovely. You're looking lovely, may I say. You've had your hair done.
I have. Fresh trim for today's episode.
Absolutely.
Even though there's no visuals going out just yet.
There will be, though.
Yeah. We've already discussed season 2 and the strategy for that. Because we are coming to the end of this season now. Like,
we've got a few more episodes, haven't we?
Yeah, we got a few more to do. But yeah.
And then season 2 will be visual, and the video clips will be out there for everyone to see. At the moment, I'm sort of still hiding behind the fact that nobody can see me.
Well, the thing is, we can obviously see the recordings because obviously this gets recorded. But we're like, oh, they look quite good there. But no, we won't throw it out there just yet.
Well, I haven't had my hair done today.
It still looks good though.
If we were using the video from today, you'd look suave, and I'd look like a hobo.
I mean, no, you
my
never
beard
look like a hobo.
has started to do that bit where it sort of bits sprout out.
Oh, it just looks like a little. What do you grade it with?
Oh, I've got one of those one blade things.
Oh yeah.
But I'm very lazy, so what I tend to do is just go to the really pokey out ones and then leave the rest.
Yeah. Like the sporadic ones that are just like kind of.
And every day that's a full on mission.
And in all fairness, like male grooming in a fashion sense, not grooming men, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. That's very important. We've made that distinction.
Yeah. That kind of ties into what we're actually going to talk about today in terms of looking good, feeling good, fresh trim.
What might we be talking about if we want to look good and feel good?
Yeah.
What might we be doing with ourselves?
If I was to guess, I would say it is about modern dating again, because I listened back relatively recently to episode 3, and we were talking about the dating apps, and in there we mentioned that we were going to do an episode about actually dating. So nothing through a screen. It's the follow on from that, the first dates, and I think we discussed about the do's and don'ts, our tips. Probably throw a couple of little maybe horror stories in there.
Let's share some horror stories.
Some first dates that we've had and that haven't made.
Hey, if our horror stories can help other people, then it's worth it.
I think knowing each other's worst date, even if it's not a first date, that would be quite interesting.
But yes, in summary, we're talking about first dates.
Cool. Right.
And I think there's going to be a lot to talk about.
Yeah, of course. So just to recap, episode 3 was about modern day dating. This is modern day dating 2.0, if you like. And it was all about dating apps. Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and my favourite, Grindr.
You can't steal it as your favourite.
I can.
You don't use it.
Honestly, when I was listening to that, I was like, when's the Grindr bit? When's the Grindr bit? I fucking loved it.
It's all about Grindr.
That's it. But obviously we spoke about the evolution of that, like how important it is today, the positives of being able to like kind of meet so many people, but also the potential negatives that there is so many, the conversation might not be as not to use the word interesting, but you're having so much small talk. Yeah. Do you lose that art of conversation that you really want to get to know somebody? And then we touched on it last time about how long is that period on via text and stuff like that. And then we spoke about it goes from a dating app, it then goes to Instagram, it then goes to WhatsApp, it then goes to voice notes, it then goes to video calls. And then finally you go, oh, let's meet
finally
this person.
In year 3.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
We're actually going to meet.
We've spoken about one of our tips being, potentially meet someone as quickly as possible, but we'll talk about that when we discuss it later.
Do you think, though, just balancing it out, do you think you can actually have a first date online if you're not meeting someone in person? Do you think people out there would classify a date happening virtually or not?
Okay, so I'm probably going to fuck myself over a little bit here, but
I'm just curious to know what you think.
So there's people have rules, when they date. And if you have a certain number of dates rule before you would have sexual intercourse with someone, sex.
If we're doing it, we should be able to say it.
Yeah, some people will kind of say, look, I'm not going to sleep with anybody until like day 3, day 4, whatever that number may be. And we're going to discuss sleeping together on a first date as well in a bit. But
what an amazing
I
topic
have been
of
in situations before where not recently, and this was a long time ago, but you kind of had that discussion of like, oh, like, do you sleep together on a first date? And it's like, no, like, kind of have like a 3-date rule. But then there's been quite a lot of sexual chemistry there. So you kind of say, oh, well, should we include a FaceTime as one of the dates? And it's kind of like a loophole. So you might have only
so
seen...
you're trying to get that number down.
Yeah, so
okay.
you've gone on one date and it's like, oh, the sexual chemistry's there. And then you're like, basically, I think, yeah, we will end up sleeping together. But you've kind of set the precedent of like, no, we're gonna do the 3 dates. And then you go on a second date and it obviously increases. And it's like, right, should we just...
So we're counting...
Should we count the third date as a FaceTime, and then the next time
probably become very creative.
Yeah.
We messaged this day, so that was a date, and then we FaceTimed that day. That's definitely a date. Yeah. Now we're going to have sex.
So yeah. So basically, I don't think FaceTime counts as a date.
Okay. I was just curious to know what you thought, because my view is that, especially in today's episode, we're talking about dates that are face-to-face,
yes,
in person.
Yes.
When you've gotten over the initial chat, you then think, right, I want to meet this human being and see what they're like.
Yeah.
And we're going to hopefully try and help you, people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's going to be loads of stuff we talk about. People could probably resonate and go, oh yeah, like I do that, or I've done that, or I'm not really, we're not relationship coaches by any stretch. I mean, my love life.
To call ourselves experts would probably be slightly over the top. But we do have life experience. Absolutely. And our respective training in what we do, it counts.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean,
but these are observations, I would say, and I might take the liberty of speaking for you, that are observations in what we think works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
When it comes to first dates.
Yeah. I mean, funnily enough, since I started coaching, I've got in touch with, like, you kind of get in the same sort of circles as online coaches, don't you? And a friend of mine, Becky, she is relationship coach as well, and we've been discussing, and she's talking about like she's going to start hosting her first kind of mixes, and she was like, do you want to come? And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I am here for this, just to see how people interact. Like, she is absolutely smashing it. Like, she's got this like massive Facebook community now, and a lot of it is women about going over like through breakups and stuff like that. But yeah, like seeing how different people expect you to interact in like that sort of social circle, I think that's brilliant. And mixers,
is that kind of like speed dating? Is a mixer?
I don't think so. No,
is it the mixer is when you just bring a group of people together?
Yeah, you must have seen celebs go dating, right?
Yeah,
it's that. It's like that mixer, like group of people. But right, so we did say we are going to try and be a little bit more structured, but we fucking haven't done that straight away.
I love our tangents. I'm very protective over them. I think they do have a place.
Yeah,
but we also want to make sure we're getting our points.
They epitomise who we are. Chaos.
We just waffle.
Yeah. Basically. So we've obviously written a few notes, but why don't we talk about, to start with, the period, in your opinion, my opinion, of how quickly that first date should come, and what that first date looks like to you, what that first date looks like to me.
Okay.
And then maybe we talk about, I've had so many opinions from people that are like, you're doing that for a first date.
Oh,
like,
I see. Like the activity is.
Yeah, because times change, right? And some of the people that have kind of commented on my first dates almost like are like, what? I don't understand that. It's like, yeah, because you dated in the 70s. Like, that kind of gives an idea of what kind of generation is commenting on my dating life. But yeah, so
what? How quickly should this first date happen?
As soon as possible.
I'm in complete agreement. As quickly as possible. If you've made contact with someone virtually that you like the look of, and you've had some communication between the two of you, I'm going to say, loosely speaking, potentially a day or two.
Wow.
Yeah,
this motherfucker doesn't hang around.
What is the point in waiting? It's fascinating to me because we are building a view of someone in our minds that is not actually yet a tangible person.
Yeah.
So the sooner you go in, doesn't mean that you have to commit to that person, but the sooner they become a flesh and blood reality, the better. Yeah. So I've been on a first date on the same day as matching with someone.
Yeah, I have as well, yeah.
So I don't think that's bad. I think that's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's no different to meeting someone in the street, which that's a whole nother subject, but meeting someone, having the confidence to go, if you're in Amsterdam and it's red,
what time of day
you're paying for it. But if you meet someone in the street and you've got the confidence to turn around and say, oh my God, you are stunning, and do you want to go grab a coffee? that would be seen as normal. But sometimes through these apps, if you're like, you match in the morning, you have a bit of chat and go, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, whoa, hang on, this is
Whoa,
way too
steady
quick.
on.
Like, where's the concept in that?
And I think I want to encourage people to, if they're of that mindset, to be a little bit more open to go with the flow.
Yeah.
And be open to the idea of it doesn't have to be so structured.
No.
You don't have to chat for 2 weeks solidly to get to know them, air quotes, because I don't think you're really getting to know them at all until you start meeting them in person.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The only caveat I would throw in there in terms of the period is for someone like myself, I obviously do shift work. So that isn't always like
possible.
Possible. That's the
well,
word
that's fine.
Because like, I mean, I'm dating now and it's kind of like, oh yeah, I can see you in 6 days. Like, but I have to put it in like a diary because I haven't got the luxury of I've got a Friday night, a Saturday night, a Sunday day. Like I haven't got that luxury. So
I just throw in as well? I hope you don't mind me doing this. But the person you're dating, what's their name?
I can't say it.
Oh,
right
it's
now.
just too cute for words.
No.
I'm not going to say their name, but you can hazard a guess.
We're not doing that.
They won't know. We're keeping the person anonymous. Right. However, what you're saying is a very valid point. You know, I'm not saying that you have to force yourself to be available within the first 24 hours or 48 hours. But if you can, or if you're open to it, even if it's within the first few days, or within the first week. But we've all experienced people like what I have that have messaged me virtually, and then they're very keen to stay talking on the app.
Yeah,
and I've broached the subject of meeting, and they're like, do you mind if we stay on the app for longer? I'm more comfortable. And I think, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, I think
comfortable
some people
not being seen. I mean, my mind goes off on, a tangent thinking about what they hide.
That's hardly surprising. But, but I think we touched on this a little bit, well, probably quite a lot in the last one. And it was that, like, the hierarchy of, I don't think that's the right word, but, the dating app to the WhatsApp and all that sort of stuff. And we kind of said about some people are quite precious, and fair play to them about giving their number out because they feel that's quite a personal thing. Like me, I don't give a shit. Like, it's just like, here's my number. Like, and you mentioned it in the last episode. If you don't like them, block, delete, see you later. Like, it's gone. They're gone. Like, you have the power to do that. So yeah, I think once you've gone through that process, no one wants a fucking pen pal. Like, if you're on, we've discussed before about if you're on dating apps, you're on there for a reason. And
some people are on there for genuine reasons. Some people are on there just to pass the time.
Absolutely.
So I think, again, that's relevant in terms of if you're on the dating apps because you genuinely want to make a connection with someone, you will know, and I'm not saying this is the same for everyone, but you'll know if someone's more hesitant to meet in person, it may indicate that they're just not that bothered.
Yeah.
Whereas if somebody goes, yeah, sure, what are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
And you go, great, I'm free. Then that energy, I feel, is already, you're getting a sense that that person's actually really invested.
Yeah. And we went into that in great detail in that episode 3. So if you are listening to this right now and you haven't heard episode 3 about like the dating app sort of thing, go back and listen to that. And then this conversation will probably make a little bit more relevance, a bit more sense to you.
So we're saying in summary, it's okay to meet in person relatively quickly.
Yes. I don't think there's a timescale personally. I think it is completely down to your own personal preferences, down to your own schedules. And you're in control of, if that person turns around to you and says, oh, do you know what? I quite like to talk on here for like a bit longer. A bit longer isn't a time scale. It's, okay, what does that bit longer look like to you? Because if it's 2 fucking weeks, in all reality, like in all fairness,
and I would be questioning, very gently questioning, when you say you want to get to know me a bit better, or take a bit more time getting to know me and want to be on the app a bit longer, I'd be asking, well, what does that mean for you?
Yeah.
Can you be a bit more specific?
Just ask questions.
Yeah.
Like,
be curious.
What's the worst that can happen? Like, someone's...
Don't be like, you must meet me now.
Nah. I've given my number out within like a few conversations, and then we've gone onto WhatsApp, and the WhatsApp's lasted about 10 minutes, and then we haven't spoken ever again. Yeah. I don't give a shit. Like, I got my number, cool, right.
Well, it's quite an important message, that, because a lot of the time I think this is, I'm going to try and form this into a coherent point, but when we make a connection, air quotes, online, so we make contact virtually, some people, if perhaps they're a little insecure, might think that that person that they've made contact with actually owes them something.
Yeah, maybe.
So if you meet, I say meet, if you make contact, you message, and then that person ghosts you, quite often people find that really, really hurtful. But I feel that, I mean, you haven't even met in person yet. So to be offended or hurt by someone else disappearing, they don't owe you anything. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
If you haven't met and made a connection in person and invested some time, at least like the baseline, I think it's really hard to be offended or pissed off if someone just disappears.
Yeah.
Because I'm not bothered. They went away. We only spoke for 10 minutes on WhatsApp and then it fizzled. Okay, next.
Yeah, no, I get it. And
But some people get lost in that. Why don't they want me? What's wrong with me? Why have they ghosted me? I really liked them, and they've not even met them in person.
We spoke about that being a negative potential to online dating before.
Yeah.
You know, you're not really thinking about the other person, you're thinking about yourself. And if you do ghost them, you might not think it's an issue, but
I mean, I've ghosted people.
Yeah, so have I.
And I've been ghosted.
Yeah, so have I.
So like I've got experience on both sides.
Sir.
But I also know that a lot of the ghosting I've done is come from a place of I'm not interested.
Yeah.
What's the point in having a
just
huge
kind of going through the motions
speech about why I'm not interested? And then when I did the work to understand that actually it's not about my self-worth here, this is about people just living their lives, and it's not actually taking away from me being a good enough person, I then started to think, well, I don't need to quiz somebody if they're not interested anymore.
Yeah.
I'll just say, okay, all the best.
See ya.
Have fun. Next.
So let's put it back then to the actual physical dates. First dates.
I'm getting nervous just talking about it.
Nah,
nerves are a big thing though, right? On the
I
first
think nerves
date.
show that you care.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in every aspect of life. But
Yeah.
if you get nervous about that first date, it could mean a number of things, right? But for me personally, it's like, right, well, I'm nervous about meeting this person because there's a level of excitement in there. Do you know what I mean? And I don't. This is probably going to sound like really bad, but I've dated quite a lot. So
why
people
does that sound bad?
Because people don't. People ask me now, do you get nervous? And I'm like, no. But that is down to a lot of the work that I've done on myself. Like I've put myself in uncomfortable situations. I've met a lot of people like you and I meeting for the first time. Wasn't really nervous because I was just like, right, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I think I've lost that nervousness on meeting somebody for the first time because based on what you said as well, I'm okay. I'm pretty good with who I am. If they don't like me, that's fine. Like they're entitled to that.
Yeah.
Like, so why would I be nervous about trying to impress somebody?
Yeah.
I'm going to be me. If they don't like me by the end of the day, then cool. Like, do you feel the same?
I do.
Yeah.
But that, again, because I've done a lot of personal development work on myself, that I think I'm in a secure place now.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was thinking about myself...
We fucking love
5
who we
years
are.
ago- yeah. We love ourselves now, okay?
Yeah.
But it was a real journey to get here and a continuous investment. But I think if I was thinking back to a more insecure version of myself, I would have been more nervous than excited that they weren't going to like me. That was the main thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't really, okay, it was a bit about, my hair wasn't looking right, or I didn't have like what I was wearing or whatever. Most of it was, am I going to be rejected?
Yeah.
That's what it boiled down
You're
to.
always focused on the negative rather than... this could
if we
actually
work
go really
on our
well.
self-image, our self-concept, our self-worth, we then start to understand that we can't really be rejected by anyone if we feel good about ourselves. So first date gets to be an
Write
excitement.
that one down. That's coming from a licensed therapist, guys, just so you know.
But it's true. And then we're free to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And so the nervousness previously for me was dread of being rejected. The nervousness now, or it's more excitement of, oh my God, who's this person going to be? It's going to be fun. I get to meet a new, human being with different likes, dislikes. What we're going to talk about, and then you relax into it more, I think.
So based on that, you mentioned the word investment there. You were talking about yourself, but obviously dating is an investment, right? You're prepared to put your time, your energy, and both those things are massively valuable to most.
Yeah.
So you're going to invest your time and your energy in something. So date one, right?
Okay,
Date one.
Date one.
I'm a massive fan of day dates. I
Yes.
think, especially because I work shifts, but being able to take time out of your day is a big thing in my opinion.
It is.
So coffee walk, something very, very, very super casual
Yeah.
is my go-to as a first date.
Tell me why that is.
And I had a conversation with someone about this quite recently. It's because it can end as quickly as I want it to be.
Oh, I see.
And that could sound
so
really,
there's a
really
very
bad.
quick out if you need it.
Yeah, for both parties, I might
Yeah.
add. But it's like, you know, it's super casual. You're getting your steps in, and especially this time of year, you're getting outdoors. And we touched on it before. You're not sat opposite necessarily someone looking into their eyes. You mentioned like almost
I'm doing it now. Am I intimidating?
No, not at all. Almost interviewing somebody. But you know, like, yeah, like you go on that walk, you're out in nature and all that sort of stuff, and it's super casual and you can talk about whatever you want. And I've had some of the best dates doing that. Like, because it's super casual. And like I said, the older generation, they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not a date. Like, that's not romantic.
People were thinking that was weird.
Yeah, basically, the thing is a bit odd because it's probably not like seen as traditionally romantic, but it's modern day dating, in my opinion. Like, and also
a lot more people are walking now.
Yeah, day one, casual coffee, walk, and don't because there's no pressure with that. Like, even if you're going to get your own steps up for the day. There you go.
Worst case scenario, I've done 5,000 steps.
Yeah. Oh, you're walking far. But yeah. So what about you? Like, if you're dating someone now, you're in a relationship, right?
I am.
Ooh. If you were
Well,
dating,
I've dated.
Yeah, you have
before.
dated, yeah. So what was your first date?
It didn't used to be the walks, although it was in much more recent times. So that my partner now, we went on our first date for a walk.
Yeah. It's so common.
And then we ended up in a pub.
I thought you were getting something else.
No.
We ended up
Keep
in a
it clean.
bush.
Keep it clean. Went for a walk and then we ended up in a pub having a few drinks together. But
bevies.
I was driving, so it wasn't, wasn't a big thing.
Yeah.
But the walk was, a good hour or two.
Yeah.
I think.
But it goes quick, right, with the right company as well.
And prior to those dates, a lot of them were walking dates.
Yeah.
Old me would have gone for dinner, which was fine. I mean, I like food. Do you know what I mean? Some people hate the idea of dinner because you've got to eat in front of someone else.
Yeah, that is my worst nightmare. Not because I'm worried about eating in front of someone, but like, there's a story here as to why I hate dinner dates, and you feel stuck. And as a man,
Well, because you've got to wait for dinner.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a story. I've got a story. You go first with your story.
First.
Okay.
I've spoken a lot already.
Well, this was a bit of a bad date.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. So is this a bad dinner date?
This is a bad dinner date.
Because we're talking about dinner dates.
So I travelled about an hour to meet this person.
Yeah.
And it was for lunch, actually, but as good as. So it's still food related, which means you can't go, can you?
But lunch is a little bit more or less serious.
I'll tell you what happened, and then you can make your sort of a view on what you think it was, whether or not that was bad or not. So met for lunch, had met on a nap, and then went through the process of voice notes, etc.
Dick pics.
No, there weren't any on that occasion. Thank you. So met in person. I do believe that we all make slight judgments when we meet people. I think it's a human trait.
Absolutely.
And it's what you do with the judgment after that counts. Okay. So I made a slight judgment, thought, he's not quite like what I was expecting.
You're trying to say that he catfished you a little bit?
No, not at all. But
you edit your photos, bitch.
There's so many filters on there. But so I met, and in my head, I thought, okay, not what I was expecting, which in itself is a point, right? We shouldn't really make too many assumptions or have too many expectations. But my point for sharing this is we sat down, we ordered. I thought, actually, after I'd gotten over my initial judgment, I thought, actually, no, he's really nice. It's going well. We'd just got the main, and he puts down his knife and fork and says, I'm so sorry, this isn't going to work. I'm going to have to go. So he gets up in the middle.
I wasn't expecting this. This is taking a real turn.
He gets up in the middle of lunch and says, I'm so sorry, that's just, I can't do it, and goes.
If you can see the visuals right now, my jaw is dropped. I'm like, I'm so invested.
I was a bit taken aback because nobody had ever left mid-meal before. So when you said earlier, which would make me think about it, you're stuck. He wasn't stuck. He wasn't stuck. He just left. So I thought after he'd left, I thought I have two choices. I can get up and leave too. Or I can stay and finish. So I stayed
And eat his
finished.
main.
And I stayed and finished and ate his main. So I was very satiated afterwards. I was very full. But then I left feeling a little wounded. I felt a little, ouch, that was a bit harsh. What about me was it that it meant you
Did he give you
couldn't
any money for
finish
the main?
the main course?
Did you get any money?
I think he must have done that. Bit sort of faded into the background. I do remember that it was probably one of those scenarios where we'd already paid.
Oh, like QR codes.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Well, this is many years ago, so it probably wasn't that. But anyway, so it was wounding, but
Right.
that wasn't a great date because
No shit.
I felt quite I felt quite jarred by the fact that he couldn't even finish the baguette or whatever it is he was having.
Other cylindrical foods for a gay date are available.
Yeah, it's not just about baguettes. But yeah, so that wasn't very nice. But then just to balance that out, I went for another date with a guy. Time is irrelevant, really. It doesn't matter when it was. But we had dinner. And the entire time we were eating, he had really long chest hairs poking out over the top of his T-shirt.
Okay.
And I couldn't stop looking at them. I was in my mid-20s, I think. So I wasn't very mature. But
and you are now.
I'm very mature now, thank you, Samuel. I was staring at these chest hairs, and at the end of the day, I felt really quite put off and repulsed.
You got
by
the
it.
ick.
So I got the ick.
That's the
and
that's
I
the term
didn't
we use
see him
now.
again because of his long chest hairs.
So they
Talk about disposable.
was that at dinner as well? 'Cause we were
yeah,
talking
at
about
dinner.
days.
But the poor man, I didn't see again.
Did you eat your food? Or did you
Yeah, I
just
did eat my food. He stayed for the duration of the date, but I discarded him because of a chest hair. That's unbelievably shallow.
Which, just to reiterate, has nothing to do with dinner dates, which is what the subject was about.
We had dinner. I was on a dinner date. And I just wanted to raise the point that I could be very dismissive, and I think people can be very.
But if you were if you were on a walk, so we've said about that first date and you're on a dinner date thing. If you were on a walk, you probably wouldn't have noticed it as much. But because you are sat opposite that table, you're looking directly, I would say, into his eyes, but clearly you weren't.
I was looking.
You're fixated on it. So do you know what I mean? Like if you were in a different scenario, an activity or moving around, you might clock it and be like, oh, a bit hairy this one. But
I don't know why it was such a
you wouldn't
thing.
have focused on it so much.
I think looking back on it now, yeah, you're right. It was, dinner dates are very formal.
But it was done thing back. I say back then like it was yonks and yonks ago. Like you're not like
no, I'm not
that old.
ancient.
You're not ancient.
But I could have.
But dating has evolved very quickly. I think.
I think I just used the chest hair to make it a funny story with my friends, and even though I was slightly repulsed by it, I just probably didn't feel a spark, so I left. But I stayed to the end of the date, whereas I have had an experience where someone's just left midway through.
Yeah.
What about you?
And to be honest with you, like based on what I believe now, I kind of respect the guy that did that to you because he valued his own time, his own energy. No,
take his side.
I don't like the fact that he obviously made you feel bad, but I think society should probably get used to people being like, do you know what? I own my shit, and I'll go, James, I'm really sorry. You're great, but you're not for me. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to
finish my food.
I'm not going to finish my food. I'm definitely not going to finish with you. But yeah, and do you know what? As bad as it may come across to others, like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. I just left you. Like, it could probably be seen as a massive positive because he's probably done you a favour, to be honest.
Looking back on it now, I completely respect that. And I think, well, why would you stay if something happened in your mind where you suddenly went, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him to stay and finish out of sort of being gracious necessarily.
I keep using this word finish, and I just can't get my head out of the gutter.
Get your mind out of the gutter. But I want to know your story because when we started talking about this, you said, I've got a story.
So mine wasn't a first date dinner date. My first date was an absolute piss up. So that's another thing I want to talk about. Okay. Getting steaming on a first date with someone.
Oh, I know. It's a slippery slope.
It is, yeah. But so basically, like, date one was like, this was a long, long, long time ago now. And went out for the first date, got steaming, had what I thought was a really, really good time, right? And that's what I want to touch on about being alcohol, being pissed at your head and all that sort of stuff. But date two, it was like, I kind of treated it as date one again because it was midweek. A friend of mine run a restaurant, like slabs, like gastro pub thing near me. Long story short, which I don't really know how to do, but I'll try as best as I can.
Settle down.
Went
listeners.
there, we did the whole dinner thing, like 3-course meal, like starter, main. I said no to dessert because at some point of the day, I was like, oh my God. Like, I love to talk, yeah? I mean, we literally started a podcast because neither of us shut the fuck up. But I said to her, if I stop talking, if I stop asking you questions, we will be sat in silence. To which she turned around and said, yes, you're right. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so long as, and I was like, oh, all right, fair enough. So in my head, I'm like, well, okay, well then she kind of thinks this isn't going as well as what it could have been. The same kind of thing that I'm thinking. The waiter comes up and he goes, do you want dessert? And I was like, no, we'll just get the bill. She was like, oh, should we not stay for another drink? And I was like, pardon, what? So I was like, you've just told me that the conversation is basically shit unless I'm asking you questions. And you want to stay for another drink? I was like, what the fuck? And I was stuck there. And until I dropped her off at the train station and stuff like that.
Oh, you had to get in a car with her?
Then I drove then to drop her off at the train station. And from that point, I was like, nah, I'm not putting myself in a dinner date situation because we met on an app. The chat was really good. We then went out for a first date, got steaming together, like what I thought was really, really good, but turns out, it's false, isn't it, when you're absolutely off your head.
Yeah.
And then that first date of being completely sober, completely vulnerable, sat across the table with someone in a dinner setting, I was just like, oh, nah. And to me, I just don't do it now. And I'm very open about it. And
so you purposefully will
I tell
a bit
people
of
straight
a
away.
ban on dinner dates.
Exactly that word.
Right.
Not only to start with.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
but just initial meetings, it's walking, it's an activity.
Yeah, it's something very, very lighthearted, something, and like, even if it is to go meet in a pub for a drink, even now, I will drive because, unless I'm staying up in London, like at work and that, I will drive because I've got an out. I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, look, I could have one drink with someone and it's like, look, this ain't going anywhere. And I'll be like, right, look, I'll be honest, I've got work tomorrow, so I'm just going to sort of leave it. But to me, that's what dinner dating as a no-go for me. Like the first one, maybe even the second one, I try and keep it as low-key and stuff like that. Like, because
I think
because of my experience,
casual is better. You don't know them. You may have built up a huge idea in your mind about who they are, but ultimately this is the first meeting.
Yes.
Keep it light.
Yeah.
Keep it casual.
And also, yeah, like I think
I haven't always done that, my ad.
No,
I've
like I don't
very
think,
heavy on the first date.
Yeah, we're talking about these sort of situations based on what we've done, what we've been through, what we put ourselves through.
Yeah.
And I think that goes like can lead us on to the next thing in terms of that first date kind of being. Now, when I go for a first date now, I say that I'm like I can like converse with them and I say, look, dinner dates are a no-go for me. So that's setting an expectation like that. You're kind of putting a boundary in straight away. That's down to them whether they want that.
Yeah.
And that expectation goes across a lot of different subjects, I think, in dating, different aspects. One of them being, if you're on a dating app to hook up, if you're on a dating app to see where it's going and all that sort of stuff, set that level of expectation the same way you would what you think a first date should look like to you. Where do you see this going? And that's what I want to ask you about next in terms of do you believe that people nowadays are setting that expectation far quicker? Because I do. I think gone are the days, still happens, but the people that I'm dating or I've dated, there have been some that I've been very honest about and been like, look, I don't know if I'm ready for a relationship right now. I'm on these dating apps because I like meeting new people. I like seeing new people. But there are some people that I'm probably going to have just sexual chemistry with, and some people that I might go, oh, okay, let's see this a little bit further. And I think that I can judge that very quickly.
But I think you're highlighting a very interesting point. So in that time of your life, you had a very broad set of expectations.
Yeah.
You were very open to using the dating apps to either have casual sex, which there's no shame in at all, or as well as thinking, well, I might meet someone that I want to have a relationship with.
Yeah.
But if someone is very specifically looking just for a relationship, then I think it's very important, yes, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you can set that expectation before you know whether or not there's chemistry.
See, I think you can.
Do you?
Yeah, because I think that then adds to that whether they're going to be interested. Because if you turn around, like I have had conversations and said, look, this is kind of what I can offer right now. It is casual.
Oh, so we're assuming that you like the visual of the person. You like the aesthetic of the person.
Yeah, you like the aesthetic. You're like, look, you know, this is what I'm kind of offering. Are you interested?
Which is potentially,
which is like
sex.
casual, something casual. Yeah, like light-hearted drinks, like maybe go out, have some casual sex.
And I agree wholeheartedly with everything you're saying.
But I do that really.
It does make it very complicated for people.
Of course,
so that's why I think it's communication. And you can adjust your expectations in a moment should you feel that it's not how you expected it to be, or you can change your mind.
Yeah.
But modern dating and first dates, they are a bit of a minefield for people. If someone has very loose expectations and someone's got very specific expectations, you're already kind of at a impasse, or you're kind of not really meeting each other in the middle, because you're describing a sort of scenario where it's like, well, I'm very open to casual sex with you, but what if that person decided, I don't know, that they were wanting more from you?
Then that's on them to tell you.
After the first date, that's on them to tell you that.
Yeah, but there's also every scenario that you could be both open to that casual meet-up.
Yeah.
You get there and there is no sexual chemistry in person.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and we've all been there where you probably just do it anyway. But
speak for yourself.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I'm open. Look,
of course, I'm
an open book of certain things, right?
You know, a lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us can, what's the word I'm thinking of? Can relate to just having sex for the sake of having sex.
But I think that goes back to the whole meeting thing. Like, I would, especially if you're like the casual thing. I mean, you're obviously not going to, you're probably not going to put too much investment in it. For like the longevity of it, it's probably not going to take that long to discuss whether you want to casually meet up or not. But if you say you spend a couple of weeks talking about, oh yeah, let's just hook up, let's do this, and then you meet them, and it's like, oh no, actually no, there's no actual physical sexual chemistry here. I mean, you look great for a phone screen and you chat good on Instagram or whatever it is. Then we go back to that. You've wasted time again, because if that is just what you're looking for. Like, it's not hard to fucking casually hook up these days. You probably could have had 1, 2, depending on how many you want to how many sexual partners you want to have.
One of my friends dated his current partner, still with him. I think they went on 3 months worth of dates before they had sex. Yeah. And I think that's rare, but I like I like what they were striving to achieve in terms of their values and figuring out whether or not they really liked each other. Yeah. But then I've been on dates with people where I've been very intimate very quickly, and the day date or the first date has lasted hours.
Just a date.
And then I'm like, yeah. And then there's been hand holding and kissing on a first date. PDA. No sex necessarily, but
that's illegal.
I mean,
in public. So we're not talking about that.
In public. I mean, you know, I'm a huge advocate. If you want to have sex on the first date, have sex on the first date. Yep. So many people might say, no. You're setting a tone for something else. You're not really showing up in the spirit of wanting to have a relationship if you have sex on the first date. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think some people will have sex on the first date and then it doesn't work out.
I used to be of that opinion as well.
They have sex on the first date and it goes well and they continue and they have a very healthy relationship. I don't think you can say categorically, don't have sex on the first date or do have sex on the first date.
I agree with you. Like I said, I used to be of the opinion, oh no, kind of if you sleep with someone on the first date, it's probably not going to be the one for you. But
if you're grown up and mature and respectful and you have sex on the first date, there's nothing that can go wrong with that unless you are not very open to communicating.
Yeah. But I think also as well, we talk about this first date being day date, relatively casual, stuff like that.
Which then blows out the water having sex, I suppose.
Exactly that. But that to me, if somebody suggested to me, oh, should we go for a walk and a coffee? I'm like, oh, they don't just want to fuck me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Oh, okay, this person is actually open to getting to know me a little bit.
Yeah.
And that kind of removes that stigma of if you turn around to someone, oh, what are you doing this Saturday? Should we go have some drinks? Like,
Ooh, I mean, it could lead to sex.
Exactly.
couldn't it?
It's an evening, you're drinking, your inhibitions go out the window a little bit. That's probably the most likely scenario in which if you weren't open about having a casual meet, that is probably the most likely route it could go down if you're talking about that. And I think that if you're gonna do the whole day, it just goes, oh, actually, okay, well, this person's not just wanting to sleep with me.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong. There will be people out there that will abuse it and go, "I'm going to play this game."
You can't say what's the same for one human as the
I'm
same
going to
for
play
all
this
humans,
game, and they'll make them think I'm interested. And then once I get sex, I'm out the door, and that happens a lot. Oh, I've done that a long time ago in past, so far from proud of it, but it does happen, and it does happen a lot still. Mainly with blokes. But
Coming from the perspective now where we've been through all of what we've been through. Another thing that's coming in my mind is about just because I said that one word, Sam, you're a child, but I'm here for it.
I am.
If you think about what people might find difficult on a first date, some people might struggle with how to end a first date.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in what you think about how you successfully bring a first date to a close. Do you then book a second date if you are feeling that vibe? Or do you say, it's really nice to meet you, bye? Like, thanks ever so much. Put out your hand, give it a good shake and say, right, it's been a pleasure.
I haven't even got that ended that well, but
like my
What's
view
your
is
opinion?
people find it difficult to do that.
Yeah. Did you used to? I mean, obviously you're dating someone now, like you're in a relationship, so like obviously you didn't want to end those dates because you were very invested.
Very forward. So I would usually say,
that's what we get.
I've really enjoyed myself. I've really enjoyed the date. I'd like to see you again.
So you say that on the date?
I have done in more recent years.
Yes.
I haven't always.
Did you do the whole, okay, cool, and then you text each other like an hour later, I'd like to see you again? Even it might even take an hour.
I didn't have the confidence to say it in person.
Yeah.
And there's that whole, do they like me? Do I like them? Is it mutual? Often you might feel that you had a really great time, but then, like if you watch First Dates, the program, it's like, do you want to see each other again? I mean, live, yes or no's. I mean, how horrific. Well, if you're thinking, yeah, I really would, yeah. And the other person goes, no.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's your thought?
My thought is, and do you know what? Like I say, I'm actively dating at the moment, and I've been on a few dates and stuff with different people, and like one of them actually said to me at the end of the day, she was like, so do you want to see me again? And I was like, and I was almost taken aback. I was like, oh, I haven't actually had that because I'm so used to like being like, oh, like, it was great, blah, 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 blah. And then you do the whole, oh, so do you want to see me again? You do the text because neither party feel comfortable enough to discuss it there and then. And I was like, oh, and I was like, and I had to think about it. And I was like, actually, yeah, I do. Like, the answer still stays the same. That date just ended naturally. Like we went on a walk, and it's like, you get back to the car park. And I think that's the other thing about when you do stuff like a casual walk and stuff, it is, you can't just keep walking. Your name's not fucking Forrest Gump.
We've been doing this for hours. It's 9 p.m.
I just started running. But yeah, like you get to a point, like, you kind of like, for example, Country Park, you do the loop, and it's like, you've then got an option. It's like, okay, should we grab a coffee now? Because there's generally a coffee hut or something. And then if it's like, no, you kind of get an indication of where that's going.
That's a good point.
I think
if somebody says no and you pick up on that it's not a genuine reason. Oh, I'm so sorry, I can't. But let's do it another time.
My dog's cat's goldfish is going to the vet, and I've got to take it. Like, I think there's lots of opportunities for you to end it in the day early in certain scenarios, i.e. the walk. If you finish that loop or whatever, I was spoken about, or you finish the walk and it's like, hi, no, I'm busy this afternoon. Like, you don't have to divulge what that is.
That's true. You don't have to give too much away.
No, like, because you don't owe them anything, to be honest. But I think the world would be a lot better place if people were just straight up and honest about, like I say, the expectation to begin with. But even on the date, kind of like whatever your mate's, the geezer's name was like, look, I'm going to be honest. This is a no from me. Like,
I can't even remember.
You don't have to go. You don't have to be horrible about it. Do you know what I mean? You can just. I think if you want the honesty from them, you've got to give it as well. And I don't think there's any easy way of turning around to someone and being like, hey, like, you're obviously like, do you want to see me again? Do you know what? No. And
it takes a very stable, grounded sense of self to hear that no, and to be able to say, no problem at all. I've really had a nice time.
Like I think I'm quite a confident person, and I'm very happy in who I am. And in certain situations, I don't mind talking about, like, sex, like all these things. I am very open about it. But even me being as the confidence level that I've got, knowing that what I say, it's down to the other person, how they take that and how they react. Like I can't control that. I went on a date like maybe 3 months ago, and we did a walk and a coffee, and that conversation didn't get brought up at the end. And because it didn't get brought up, I then obviously think to yourself, do I want to see her again? She then messaged me and said, would you like to see me again? And I was just like, I know for a fact that if I was younger and less mature and less emotionally aware of how I was feeling, I would have been like, oh yeah, like, I'll let you know, like, I'll see what's happening with my shift work. And I'd make all these bullshit excuses. And don't get me wrong, like, that kind of crept in. I was like, oh, shall I just kind of, you use the phrase, let down gently? Bollocks. Just rip it off. Just rip that Band-Aid off. Like, I was turning around and was like, do you know what? I think you're great. She was amazing. She's a great girl, but there was no spark. And it was like, I'm really sorry. I think there was just something missing for me. And she was like, thank you so much for your honesty. Like, and I was like, oh wow, that wasn't bad at all. Like, she was so great. Like, obviously it was over a text message, so you couldn't really see the emotion. But I was like, oh, okay. So I think, to answer your question, obviously we've gone off again, but how to end a date early, just, you're uncomfortable anyway. Because if you want to end that date early, the chances are you don't feel very comfortable in it. You're not that.
Or how do you end the date if you had a good time? You know.
Yeah. If you want to end a date early, you're probably in a comfortable position anyway. So just end it, because you're not going to feel any more uncomfortable. But ending on a good way, I mean, I think that's.
Some people don't know how to do that. I would say
I'm a big believer in kissing on a first date.
Okay.
So generally, if a date's gone well, I kiss on a first date.
If you think back to when you were younger, we forget, don't we, when we get so ever many years away from our teenage years or early 20s.
Some are further away than others.
Yeah, cheek. It's really complicated.
It really is.
It's difficult.
But does it have to be? I don't think it does.
But it's energy between two people. You know, do they like me? I really like them. I think they like me. I'm getting the vibe that they do.
How would you know, though?
Would they want to kiss me? Yeah. Do they want to kiss me back? Shall I ask if we can kiss?
Well, I did that recently. Yeah. And it is, and she even said to me after, she was like, oh, I wasn't sure if, like, you were going to or something. And I was like, do you know what? I was nervous, and it goes back to that nervous, excited bit. But generally speaking, you get that vibe of, oh, I'm probably going to just lean in here. And if I get rejected, then it is what it is. But at this point, at the end of this day,
that's other body language signals might be giving it away, like the touch of the forearm, or they might gently shove you and laugh if they found something funny, and you're getting a vibe, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like that's probably like a little bit love language, isn't it? Like being a bit tactile on a date, it kind of indicates that and stuff. But I even said to this girl, I was like, Do you want to kiss? And I felt awkward asking it, because I'm quite confident, and I'm like, and I quite, obviously the date went really well, and I was like, do you want to kiss? But no, and then obviously like said, and it was a good kiss, but
let's not even start on a bad kiss on a first date.
I've also been on other dates where I've gone like, I'm going to kiss you now, and like been quite assertive, and they're like, obviously, I mean, if they're like eyes going like, and their head goes back, you're like, well, maybe I'm not. But
it's read the room, isn't it?
Bad kissing, I don't think. Yeah, but is that? Have we got time for that? Yeah.
I think it would be a great idea if you and I were to share our top 3 first date tips.
Just first date tips.
Just first date. I mean, people can apply it to any date if they want to, but the subject of today's episode is first dates. So I've got 3 tips.
Yeah,
you've got.
I think
3
you should
tips.
go first.
You want me to go first?
I reckon they're probably going to be Might be a couple in there that are very either similar, if not exactly the same.
Okay. All right.
But so you go
Well,
first.
I'll go first, and then you can say, I want you to tell me what you think about my
So
tip.
whether like I agree
If
with
you
it
think
or not.
it's a good one or not. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah. And so I want your honest appraisal.
You're
So
not going to get anything else. So,
No, I believe that.
If I'm anything, it's honest. So
You're very, very straightforward, which I appreciate about you.
cutthroat.
So the first one
Yep.
is put down the mental checklist. I.e., don't go into the first date with whether or not you think they're going to be your life partner, whether or not you can see yourself having children with them, whether or not you can see yourself buying a house with them, whether or not you can see yourself having a pet with them. That if they're not 6 foot and you wanted 6 foot and they're 5
Well, I'm
foot 4.
fucked there, aren't I?
Oh, I know. Put down all of the what you think you want
Yep.
and go in completely open-spirited to the idea of that human being is spending time with you, and whatever happens, you've gotten to meet somebody new. That's my sentiment.
Okay.
Put down the mental checklist, because if you're ticking off in your head, you are not listening.
Okay.
You're not present. You're not really caring about what the fuck they're saying. You're just like, he's not what I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
He's shorter. He's he's carrying a few more pounds. He doesn't earn X amount of money. He's not got a job. He lives with his parents. Blah 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 blah.
Why are you describing me right now?
Sorry, that's not your life, is it?
yeah,
But what I'm saying is, put it down, because you're not in it. You're not able to connect. And so often I've gone in with, it links to your thing about expectations. You go in with high expectations. You think, I need to find a partner. And then you're interviewing that poor bastard for whatever, like, just to fit your very rigid, quite often, idea of what you want. And I think, put that shit down, put it down.
Okay.
And then be with that person.
Okay. I agree to a degree.
There's some buts coming.
There is a few
I can
buts,
see
yeah.
it.
And I think this is obviously this is everyone's prerogative to go after whatever they want. But I agree with you in terms of, don't be sat there almost like an interview, like, oh yeah, tick that box, tick that box, tick that box. But I do think that if you're going to go into that date, depending on how long you've spoken to that person, you're probably going to have some form of expectation as to what you think they're going to be like. If they show up in person and they are like the complete polar opposite to what they've been through over a text message, for me, that's a bit of a red flag. Because I'm like, this is the true you. This is why we talk about meeting early, right? And it's like, I'm not mentally checking it off here, but you kind of gave the impression you were into this and into this. Is this because that was on my dating profile?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do agree with you. I think don't go into it as an interview and like almost it is an audition, to put it bluntly, but it's not. Like, be open and be like, oh, actually, the fact that, to quote you then, I thought I wanted someone 6 foot, but I don't. That's not even a thing for me, because that mental checklist can massively change, right? So yeah, I agree. I will somewhat agree, but I will disagree, because I think that you do still have your own. I think everyone is entitled to have who they believe they want,
of course.
And if there's like that mental checklist, if you're going through it early on and it's like, well, hang on, this doesn't measure up to what you said.
If you're going through it, you're not present.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I completely understand that we all have this idea in our minds of who we think we're looking for.
Yeah.
I would then say, as a sort of caveat, just try and stay present, and maybe think that just because you've thought in your mind, this is what I think I want, doesn't mean it is what you need.
No, I agree. Yeah. And subconsciously, you can be as present as physically possible, and your mind will probably still be ticking it off anyway. Do you know
walk
what I
up
mean?
to that person and you've instantly gone,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, yeah.
But you'll be on the walk, and in your head you've gone, no.
So put down the mental checklist.
Put down the mental checklist.
What's number 2?
Are you not going to go now?
You want to do one for one?
Yeah, let's like have a game of tennis
Oh.
with it.
Okay, so
Because then I can totally bring down your number.
do you know what? This is a new thing for me. Well, not new, but since obviously I went sober, my number 1 is don't go out and get steaming. Like, make
Tell
the
me more.
date, be present. So similar to what you just said, really, in terms of being present on the date. But I've had
So a no
plenty
alcohol rule.
not no alcohol.
Okay.
But if your plan is to go out, like if you want to go out and get fucked up, you've got loads of mates to do that with.
Mm.
Why would you put yourself in a position to meet somebody for the first time and your objective is to go out and get steaming with them.
Yeah.
You're not getting to know them. Like, I've been there, done that. I've done so many dates in the past when I was younger that I used to go out and get absolutely on one.
I hear
and I'm like,
you're not there.
You probably can't remember some of it. There's a good chance you're going to black out, and like there's not going to be, and you're going to be like, oh, hang on, did they say that? And also that fucking fear. I mean, this is coming from personal experience because I used to get so wasted. But it's like, oh my god, did I say that? What did I do? Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you date that person for maybe a few months and then you get pissed, they already like you. So if you do something that might not be quite to their taste,
you're already in.
You're already for want of a better phrase, but. You're there, like they're like, oh, hang on, and then you can discuss it and be like, oh, James, by the way, like obviously when we went out last night, you did this. I didn't expect that. Can you? And you're like, oh yeah, shit, sorry. Like when I drink, I want to be a bit more of a class clown, so I like a bit more attention. So, do you know what I mean? Like as an example, but so for me, number one is
drunk.
Don't go out and get absolutely steaming on a first date.
Okay,
because I don't think it shows you. I don't think you can show your true self when you're off your head.
I might surprise you when I say this, but I agree.
Cool. Well,
that was easy, wasn't it?
I'm full of knowledge. So, right. Okay. Number 2 for you, then.
Number 2. Be interested, for fuck's sake. Be interested and ask questions.
Yes.
The amount of times, and it kind of links in with the first one about put down the mental checklist. If you go in and you already have this view of who somebody is, you're not going to care what they're actually talking about. And you mentioned earlier in one of your scenarios where the girl was only responding to your questions. It's like if she had asked you questions, that shows so much interest in someone. But you can't just fake it. It's like, and so what do you do for a job?
Yeah,
you really got to want to know the answer. Right? And so that takes a little bit of practice when you put down your assumptions and listen, actively listen. So it's a lot to do with active listening and healthy communication. Be interested and care about what the other person's saying. If they go off on a tangent, be gentle. Just be like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then don't wait for them to say, well, now they've got to ask me a question. Offer something of yourself.
Yeah.
I think if someone went off on a tangent because I'd asked a question and they were going on a bit, I might gently say, oh, yeah, that sounds really cool. Yeah, when I've done some da-da-da-da, and you share a bit. But be curious and don't just wait for them to stop talking so you can say your bit.
Yeah.
Ask more questions. Like there's a human being sat in front of you. They've got a story.
Unless you're into blow up dolls.
Well, yes, I've seen a few documentaries about that. But yeah, be curious, be interested, and don't fake it. There's nothing more attractive than showing genuine interest to someone. So that was my tip number 2. Ask questions, be interested.
Yep. I agree with that. I think.
But genuinely interested.
Yeah. And if you find yourself that you're not asking those questions because you're probably not that interested. And then that's a thing, right? You're like, well, why am I not asking these questions? Am I not genuinely interested in this person? So, yeah, I think that's a good tip.
Moment in time, you can put everything down and think, well, this is what it is for now.
Yeah,
I've got a choice. I can disengage, tap out, and be bored, or I can be in front of this human being, find out more about them, and even if I might not like them or want to pursue the relationship, I can still have connected with them.
Yeah, I think if you don't want to leave that first date or thinking, oh, I didn't actually ask this and that's something that I really would like to have known.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about the audition interview thing. So yeah, I think that's perfect. I think, yeah, I would definitely agree with tip 2 from James.
Your second.
My second would be, and this doesn't, there's context to this. Don't try and impress too much.
Okay.
And you hear stories about these, and I haven't done this myself, but they fucking try and plan this massive, elaborate first date. Like, it's not all money, like kind of focus, but if you earn a certain amount of money and you're taking a girl or man and you go, right, look, I've booked us into this lovely hotel but a lovely restaurant in a swanky hotel in London and because you're trying to give off this persona to really impress this girl.
Yeah.
Why? Like, it's a first date. Yeah, okay, you want to impress, but what I've learned, there is nothing more attractive than someone sitting in front of you, being their wholehearted self, being them, being vulnerable, showing their right. I wear this to a date.
Well, there's nothing wrong with what you're wearing.
Exactly, but I'm in shorts and a t-shirt, and I obviously if I'm going out on an evening, if we were going to do like I say, I don't really tend to do this too much anymore, but if we were to go for drinks in an evening, I'd put a pair of cargos on. That's about as far as I go because I'm like, I'm comfortable in this. I feel really relaxed.
Not even chinos.
Maybe chinos, but
cargos.
Yeah, but like, yeah. But I wouldn't go out of my way to think, oh fucking hell, I've really got to dress to impress it.
I can't think of anything worse than formal wear.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
But don't try and impress somebody. Don't throw a load of money at somebody because if somebody is impressed by the fact that you've booked that place, for me, I'd be like questioning, well, are they impressed that I wanted to do the effort and set that standard, or are they more interested in where we're at? Do you know what I mean? And then, don't get me wrong, there is a lot of people that have a lot of money in there that will come together in life and they both like the same things, and that's great. But if you're doing that, all right, it's like, what's the longevity of this? Can you keep that standard up? You're taking this person on a massive first
set
date.
The bar, yeah.
Exactly. So I think tip number 2, don't go out of your way to try and impress through something that you can't keep.
You can't sustain.
You can't sustain. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. That's my number 2.
I think that's a really good tip, and I wholeheartedly agree. I do want to throw in a quick question before I move on to my final tip. What do you think about paying for a first date?
Yeah.
Who should pay?
Right. So our situations are a little bit different.
Can you elaborate as to what you mean? Do you mean homosexuality?
I haven't been on many dates with blokes. I say many because there might have been 1 or 2.
Have you been on a couple? Oh, Sam, I knew it.
Just, you see his face light up. Why is that? Why would it not me?
Purely platonic friends.
I am a little bit. We actually touched on this in a previous one about being like old school morals and stuff like that. And one of the things that I go for, or I find very attractive in a woman that I'm dating, is the independence and ambition and like career and stuff like that. Like I find that shit sexy. Like someone who's really worked hard to get to where they get to, right? So I'm quite open about talking about money. I know a lot of people aren't. Doesn't really bother me.
I think we should be.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy.
I mean, you can literally Google my salary online because I work for the fucking fire brigade.
Oh my God, let me just make a note of that. Google Sam's salary.
Obviously, you put 2 and 2 together and you kind of gauge roughly sort of what kind of industry they're in and, you know, money-wise. But even if I know that person is... I went on a date with a lawyer, not like a while ago. I knew she was fucking making bread. Like she was earning some serious wedge. And the closest I got to letting her pay was we went for a couple of non-alcoholic drinks.
Right.
She bought a round, I bought a round.
Okay.
That's it. Like that's...
So are you saying...
Someone offered to pay for me, I'd be like, absolutely fucking
So
not.
are you saying you would pay?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
basically, yeah, I've just gone round the houses saying it. But yeah, I still feel in my situation that as a man, if you ask that woman out, if you want to date her, then even if the date goes really badly, it's just male. Maybe it's a little bit like outdated, but for me, it's like, do you know what? I asked you out, hasn't gone to plan. You know,
I don't think it's
I'll pay.
I don't think it's outdated necessarily. I think if it comes from a place of sincerity and genuineness and love, then, you know, it's a very generous thing to do.
Yeah.
I think.
I also really struggle to receive things.
No,
not that one.
You have the dirty mind. I do not have the dirty mind. And ever since we've done this bloody episode, all I've done is listen to your innuendos. So completely conversely, I would always strive to split the bill.
Yeah.
Personally, I have offered to pay. It seems quite shallow. If it's gone really well, I'm like, I'll pay.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's shallow at all.
If it's not gone well, do you want to split it? But
and that's almost like a little bit of an indication, isn't it? You can kind of gauge like, oh, should we split this? It's
but I think more like, just to sort of get more down to my value, I think it's really healthy to split the bill. I
wholeheartedly agree with you. I think it's probably there's probably a session with my therapist that I need to talk to about that as well. But it's still a thing for me. Like, especially like you say, if you have really enjoyed yourself, I'm like, no, like I want to pay, and like,
but if the other person says no, I really want to pay, you're at an impasse. I would still pay. You can't spend 20 minutes arguing about it, and I hear people do that.
Yeah.
No, I want to pay it, and it becomes a row.
Yeah.
But yeah,
our first argument.
Yeah.
Stick that in the milestone book.
Exactly.
Go on, free. Give it to me.
Okay, number 3, third and final tip for a first date: leave early.
Yes, agree.
I don't know. Elaboration needed.
I don't think there is. I think if you're not feeling
Can
it,
I tell you as to why I think that?
says the one who was crying earlier about someone ditched him at lunch, but
That's a bit too early. So the reason I think that is because personal experience tells me that when I've been on a first date that's gone really well, what I have reflected on months or years afterwards is it's okay that a good thing ends. Yeah? Why are you smirking at me?
I just went down to that gutter a little bit, but I'm not going to say anything.
Sam.
Now go on.
Naughty. Right. So I think it's okay if you're having a good time and you feel that you're vibing and there's a chemistry and you
Vibing,
like
baby.
them. Oh, yeah. If you like all of that, I think there's a huge benefit in saying and role modeling to yourself, this has been really nice. I can't wait. Stop trying to interrupt me. I can see your face.
It's
This has been
ADHD.
really
I haven't been
nice.
diagnosed with yet.
This
but, you
is
know.
really nice. I've really enjoyed myself, but I'm gonna go. But I'd love to see you again.
Leave them wanting more.
Yes. Is
That's
that what you
what I
want
was
to say?
waiting to say, but I was waiting for you to
You were
finish.
like,
Looked like I was
leave
giving the
them wanting
microphone
more.
a blowjob.
Yes,
but yeah.
because every time that I've enjoyed a date, I've fallen into this sort of almost like it was a drug, and I wanted more, and I wanted more, and I wanted more. And some first dates have gone on all day, and even though that was lovely, in hindsight, I think it's healthier to role model to yourself that you can have a good time, but then return back to what you are going to be doing for the rest of the day
Yeah.
and allow reflection time to happen. Because every time I've been on a first date where it's been a really great date, we've had PDA and we've been like, oh, I think I really like them, etc. It's never worked.
It's almost like getting a little bubble
yeah,
for that period. It's like,
And I
oh, this
think,
is fucking
God,
fantastic.
it's not about playing a game or anything, but it's just saying to yourself, this has been really, really lovely, but I'm not going to drag it out because I've just met you.
Yeah, it's that dopamine hit, and it's like, oh wow, this is really like going back to your mental checklist. They're ticking all these boxes. We're having a great conversation.
Let's
like,
stay.
Let's stay here.
Let's
as long
go
as
from lunch to dinner to sleepover to breakfast to lunch the next day. No,
I'm having a baby.
put a boundary in place and say, this is about me not being swept along with the dopamine.
Yep.
Putting a point in this date where I can say this has been really lovely, but I'm going to go and I'd love to see you again, just to give you time to decompress and then reflect. So that's why I say leave early. Don't leave mid meal if you can avoid it, because it might come across as
Also, it might be a nice
rude.
meal that you might miss out on.
But don't spend hours and hours and hours on a first date. Keep it short but sweet.
Okay.
Thoughts, please.
So I will tie this in because my third was similar.
Okay.
However, I relatively recently went on a date and it was, I don't think it intended to be as long as it was, but it was brilliant. And before I knew it, 4 hours had gone by.
Mm-hmm.
So my third tip ties in with yours. Be brave enough to leave early.
Okay.
Be brave enough to recognise
So
the situation.
You've just basically stolen mine
No,
and added
I
a couple
said,
of words.
I said
to
that
it.
some of ours would align.
I agree. I think it's a good tip.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. And I think people.
We can
and
have
I
the same third tip. Let's share it.
The third tip. There's two of us that have got one tip, two tip, and there's a third tip.
I'm sorry. I can't do anything to help you anymore. You are past help.
So yeah, I think just it goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier about you value your time, you value your energy. Don't feel
Don't
that
overdo it.
Yeah, don't overdo it because you don't feel like you don't owe this person anything. Especially we are talking about first dates. Here,
First
remember.
date. Yes.
You don't owe this person anything. You're probably doing them a favour by turning around and going, do you know what?
It's
This
been
isn't really
lovely.
working.
I'd like to do it
But
again.
yeah.
Or whatever.
But
yeah.
be brave enough to leave early, but be brave enough to be honest as well. So maybe
Absolutely.
tie them in together.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we have taken a real meander around the world.
We've hammered
of first
this.
dates.
Yeah, and I think this is probably going to be the longest episode yet. Even minus a little bit of editing, I think it's good.
Only a smidge.
Yeah, but yeah, we could talk about so much more in terms of dating.
I hope we've helped.
I hope
I've
you
certainly learned
laughed.
something as I've been talking to you about, like, should I be going on a first date again?
Well, hopefully not, because
well,
you
no,
and
obviously,
Riley
I'm
are
in a
having a
relationship.
very good relationship.
We
right
are.
now.
But, just processing that as I'm talking to you.
There's so much to this shit.
There is.
But to touch on what you've discussed, there's so much to it, but there's so much that you could overthink as well.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you're in a position that you are open to dating, as from our point of view, or definitely from mine, be honest and open. That goes to expectations of what you're after. It's okay to feel like you just want to cook casual sex with someone. If that's what you're after, cool. If you want a relationship, set your boundaries early and just enjoy it, because you could be sat across the table or next to on a walk having the best time.
Make that the final point.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Have fun. Not once have we said today, laugh.
Yeah, laugh.
Laugh. Yeah. Like, have fun with that person.
Because they may have a terrible laugh and you think, fuck that.
I mean, I've got quite a cackle, but it can be quite entertaining.
But yeah, have fun with it. Like,
have fun.
Dating is meant to be fun.
Yeah.
And however that looks to you, make it part of your day-to-day fun that you fucking enjoy doing. Mate.
Sage advice.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
As always.
Where people find us?
My mind's gone blank. They can find us on Instagram at Flex Your Feelings Podcast.
Yeah, we'll probably bang it out on a couple of our own stories as well.
Yes.
And give a little teaser as to next week's episode. We haven't done this on other episodes, but I'm going to do it now.
Go for it. I love that you're just ad-libbing this stuff.
Next week's... I think the next episode is going to be about like stress and anxiety and stuff like that.
Potentially slightly
a little bit more
topic.
Heavier topic, yeah. So cool, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure today.
As always.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Thank you very much for listening.